So as I was troubleshooting NXLog, I restarted my NXLog, but I see that I am receiving all these generic events which are not being parsed by the NXLog, Sysmon NXLog plugin. So I decided to disable them. So these are all DNS queries, but they are not being parsed properly. So I'll just try to disable them. So Windows machine, sorry, this one. In here we are going to, because this is the pattern DB, all those event IDs which are mentioned over here are going to be matched, and they will be sent to the OSSIM. So we'll search for event 22. That's it. We have reached. So I am going to delete this one. For example, this is where the pattern is starting. Pattern ID. Let's see what happens if I delete this one. There you go. And I am going to save this one. So definitely I'll have to restart my service. So at least this generic event should stop popping up. So the last event is 23509. So I can say these are the ones that have already been received by the SIEM solution, and they are being processed. But after this, at least these generic events for the DNS with event ID 2, they should stop. Let me think if we need to restart something else. I believe no. I think we should be good to go. And these events, DNS query events, they should stop coming from the log source itself. So we have 9, 10, 50, 56 seconds. Events are still coming in. The main thing is we should go ahead and look over here. So I'm gonna tail -n var log sysmon NXLog. So we have 2306 and event ID 22 is still coming in. So must be something did not configure correctly. We'll try again. So we have updated the pattern DB. Edit. I'll search for controller. Event 22 again. No. Let me search for 22. Okay, we have an ID 22, but that's not event ID 22. Other than that is event 140, 22, 22, 22. Okay, I think it should have stopped by now. There is no event 22 over here. So the NXLog should not be sending any 22, event ID 22, or the DNS queries to okay, the last one that we saw is still coming. Okay, there's a reason when even if we have excluded event ID 22 from the pattern DB, it's still showing up in the logs. So look at this. We have enabled separately within the NXLog this section of the Sysmon NXLog However, in here we are not matching the pattern DB just like we are doing in the NXLog section. In the NXLog section, if you see, we have a specific mention of processor match events. If these are going to be matched, they are going to be out in the output, they are going to be sent to the OSSIM solution. Because when you type the root over here in the NXLog, you say in Windows events, then you have to match events and then you go to the output. However, in the case of Sysmon, we are not doing any such thing. We're just taking the in Sysmon events, then we are processing, configuring the output, out Sysmon events, and in the root, it's just the in Sysmon events and the out Sysmon events. So in this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment all of it again, so it doesn't work. And I'm going to shift back. I'm going to put this query back in the main NXLog where we are actually matching the patterns, and it should stop right away. This one is gone. I believe we have done everything. So what I'll do this. Copy, go back to NXLog where you have defined already for the system security and application. There's a DNS, DHCP, where is our simple NXLog. So there we go. So we'll add one more query over here. So in this case now, it is not going to look at this one. Our main NXLog section is going to read the logs. Let's save this one, and hopefully we haven't made any mistake. I will go back to NXLog, restart, just to make sure that we did not make any mistake and the logs didn't show anything wrong. Okay, go back to the logs, everything good. 2312, NXLog has started. Now let's go to the our console and see at 2312 the last event we received for DNS query was at 2312. Similarly, in this 2312, and now it's 1113, we did not receive any event ID 22 event. So if you have to exclude any of the events from coming in, one method would be that you exclude it at the source level by deleting that ID from the configuration file of your pattern DB, because whatever event IDs that you have mentioned in the pattern DB are going to show up in your SIEM solution. If you exclude that from this one, they will not be showing up here. Similarly, you have only this one 2312. So event ID 22 are no more visible. So just an update. We are back. I was just doing a bit of troubleshooting because the things that we did not stop the event 22, but now I figured it out that what was the issue. So I reverted back everything and we started from scratch. So here it is, our NXLog Sysmon section. In the Sysmon, what we have done is we have an input section which was already there. That is where the NXLog has to read the Sysmon logs. However, what we added is we added a processor match events Sysmon and gave the path for the pattern db.xml, from where we have already excluded the event 22. In the output, we said we added one more line, execute. If it is not defined in the pattern ID, it has to be dropped. And we named the processor as match events Sysmon. And in the root for the NXLog, we define that first execute the in Sysmon events, that is, read all the logs, then match the events, and then go to the out Sysmon events. So it will read all the logs, it will match those with the pattern DB, it will only keep those logs from the red logs which are present in the pattern DB, and if these are not defined, these are not going to be forwarded to the OSSIM. So now we can see in the file that we are no longer receiving event ID 22. Similarly, I'm sure if we go to the real time for the Sysmon events, in here we're not going to see the logs for the Sysmon. So now you see we have the Sysmon NXLog for the process created, and let's see which process was created. This is notepad.exe. However, there are no generic events for the event ID 22 coming up now. Let me see, just check. Explore.exe and calculator.exe, two processes that we created. So we are receiving some of the process creation events. So there you go. Explore.exe being executed from parent image is equal to cmd.exe, which is here cmd.exe and explore.exe. Now only if they had a better cyber schema defined, we would have easily seen the parent image and the other one. Similarly, in this one, you have the calculator.exe as an image, and your parent image is cmd.exe, which we just run. So in this video, you saw that how you can exclude an event ID from the Sysmon using an NXLog and only forward those logs which you really need. So in this one, I'll just repeat one more time. In the pattern DB, you just remove the event ID 22, then you go to the NXLog config, and in the Sysmon, I'll see if I can also share these the updated Sysmon and the NXLog configuration file in the link. I'll do that. Otherwise, just define the input which was already there, add a processor pattern DB, and drop those which are not in the pattern DB, and define the root, match event Sysmon output, and that's it. Thank you so much for your patience. I had to pause the recording just to do the troubleshooting, but now we can see that only the relevant processes, relevant events are coming in, and all the noise for the port for the event ID 22, which was not required at this stage, has been gone.